I ain't waiting to shit to drink. I need that yak. It's been a long work week. It's been a long week period. So I need that yak in my system. Sorry, big homie. I'm sorry.
Hey man, it's all good, man. I mean, we here,
But ladies and gentlemen, as if you don't know who you're talking to the dynamic duo. You're talking to two of the greatest Americans that are around right now. I heard they were talking about putting both of our faces on the same dollar bill. It'd probably be like the $16 bill because it won't be too high up, but like it'd be like, oh man, you got that $16 bill? All right, that's what's up. Like that's what we'll be. Like it wouldn't even be like it'll be a random number. But anyway, that's us. You're talking to the good guys. You're talking to the podcast version of the NWO. All right, you're talking to the podcast version of the Bullet Club. All right, that's who we are. I'm talking about the Boston 3 Party. That's who we are, baby. The Heatles. That's this version of this show. Whatever good group of people that you could think of, that's us. Because we are real Americans. We are what's good America.
That's right. And don't act like we can't get into Wakanda either.
That can happen.
Don't let this proper accent fool you. They let me in. I know he getting in. They let me in. Look at it. Everything about this says Wakanda.
All right.
All I got to say about that. Well, you know what, man? I mean, with that being said, and you drinking, Dwayne, I don't know if you listen, but I want to shout out another unofficial sponsor, Terramana. Shout out Young Rock, just came on this week, doing his thing, dominating. Hey, DJ, we would love to be the podcast that reps for you. And when all else fails, when you're trying to go off brand, Chris, we ain't got no problems. 100 años, baby. I mean, it's just tough seeing these delicious, all sorts of just Bombay Sapphire, unofficial sponsor. America, I just grabbed what was behind me. You don't never know what's going on in this house. Hey, 1 minute we having a sophisticated gin and tonic conversation. Next thing you know, we having a fiesta in this joint, baby, 100 años. And the next thing you know, we telling you, do you smell what the Waynes is cooking? It's Terramana. Yes. That is gimmick infringement. And I'm sorry, DJ. You know I love you. I'm one of the biggest rock fans ever. But that's not what we're here to talk about. Chris Turner, bring it to me. It's the reason why I got a different shirt on. And it's the same night, America.
I don't know. Is the reason that we're talking about the new Jack Daniels.
Ooh.
Winter Jack. For the sophisticated man who likes to drink, but in the winter. I don't know, man. That could be the main reason I brought you, or I could be ready to start a fight with this whole bottle of Jameson, because if the Jameson get popped open, somebody getting punched in the face. Let's just call it what it is.
Every rip.
Like, you will get punched in the face if I'm on Jameson.
Best believe when I come off of this drinking ban, best believe, which is going to be March 17th.
Yep.
Oh, it's on.
I punched plenty of people in the face from Jaeger bombs and Jameson shots. But anyway, to the topic at hand. The NBA. Are the Nets really this damn good?
Well,
which because I feel like I already got a little bit of what you're about to say. When we get to a specific team that they played, I'm going to bring up a question about one of the superstars that they beat. But go ahead.
Yeah. I would like to first start this segment off by letting it be known that, yes, we are talking about the Nets.
Oh, God.
But America, we have an all-star. That's right. To get on my level shirt. Shout out Katie Mitchell. She got this for my birthday years ago. That's my homie. I love her.
Why does it always come back to Chicago? Somehow, some way.
Now you're talking about the NBA.
You figure out a way to bring up Chicago.
It ain't a figure it out. It's just what it is. We have our first All-Star since Jimmy Butler. Shout out Zach LaVine. He's not even, it's not an injury replacement. Like Zach LaVine is in there. So I want to give my man a shout out. We talking about the same Zach LaVine that blessed Billings some years back and came up and did a camp. You know what I'm saying? So this has got ties to Billings too now, okay? Two-time dunk champ. Zach LaVine.
And that second one was a little questionable.
I mean, come on, man. The dude went between his legs from the free throw line, bro.
Come on, man. Aaron Gordon, come on.
They should have just gave them both first, like they should have split the trophy. Like
I agree.
That's not what we're gonna do. Aaron Gordon deserves to be a slam dunk champion. Now, if you want to talk about highway robbery, let's talk about your boy Derrick Jones Jr. from the Miami Heat stealing his. Yeah. Always, yeah, see? Yeah. Because that was highway robbery. And that was courtesy of a Chicago guy that did that. So once again, you're welcome. Yes, it always comes back to the Chi, because without the Chi, what's the point of even talking basketball? We wouldn't even be talking about Miami if it wasn't for the Chi. You know that. What's the name of the county? What's the name of the county? Say it.
Wade County.
And where is he from?
Some Chicago suburb, I'm assuming.
From the crib. That's all you got to know. Crib. Now that I've gotten that off my chest, that hat's a little bit tight. I don't feel like adjusting. I'm going to go ahead and put my What's Good American hat back on. Are the Nets as good? Let's just talk about not the obvious things. This is a team that has one of the best point guards that doesn't even get starters minutes in Spencer Dinwiddie. Joe Harris is shooting the lights out.
He's a shooter.
This dude is shooting the lights out. Do you know how much fun Joe Harris is having? So Joe Harris, So Joe Harris basically says, so all I have to do is just be ready. Because they would rather let me score 25 on, 5 or 7 threes than let one of these 3 guys go off. So all I got to do is stand here, maybe move around, work on my catch and shoot.
Dude,
ain't nothing but Kyle Korver.
I call that the Scott Skiles effect, okay? Like, it's all you got to do. Just be ready to shoot, okay? That's all you got to do. Like, just move around the perimeter. I don't need anything 2-point wise. It's the Scott Skiles effect. Just roam around this 3-point line, and when everybody sucks into this one guy, you just be ready. That's it. It's also known as the John Paxson effect, the Mark Price effect, the Jeff Hornacek effect. Like, if you're listen, America, I'm gonna talk to you.
Even all these 6'2" white guards.
If you're
Mark Price had more game than that. Like you can't do
listen,
that. Mark Price is one of the most underappreciated. Like Mark Price was dope, dude. Like
America, listen, okay? And I'm looking right at the camera right now.
Don't do Mark Price like that.
If you're an average white guy out there right now, average white dad, average white high school player, listen. Get ready to get your catch and shoot on. That's all you have to do, okay? Even in today's NBA. Because if you get drafted to the right team, that's all you have to do. There's a bunch of guys who made a lot of money in the NBA from 1983 to up until about 2007. Now it's coming back. The catch and shoot white guy. Go ahead.
You listen, I'm just not going to let you do that to Mark Price. I'm sorry. Mark Price was an all-star in this league.
Hold on. She want to show off her hair real quick.
Uh-oh. Zozo. Do you have school? Does she have school tomorrow?
Yes, she needs to be asleep, but she wants to show off her hair.
Well, your hair looks great. Now go bust your ass to sleep.
Uncle Walt said, "Go to sleep, put a bonnet in, and it's time to go lay down." Okay.
I love you, Zoe.
Also, do you know where my bonnet is?
Check in the bathroom.
Okay.
That's a dope T-shirt.
Oh yeah, dude. It's graphic tees around this place. Like me and the little one, like it's graphic tees or nothing.
I love it. And I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm not even drunk. I'm just gonna tell you right now. That's dope what I said. Now ghost bust your ass to sleep.
I heard you.
Oh man. Still not as good as John Cena being a Puerto Rican. I just don't know if I'm ever gonna top that. Don't know if I'm ever gonna top that.
You just not go. I can't live that one down.
I don't know. That and Justin Timberlake.
The Chick-fil-A of chicken sandwiches.
R&B like I don't do. I feel like we should make T-shirts and deal with the consequences later.
I'm with it, dude. I'm with it.
But I digress. Listen, like these are three dudes that have shown up to this point that they like playing with each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and you looked at it, and it's like we talked about with Tampa Bay when AB got there. It's like, who's going to take the back seat? And I give Chris Godwin all the credit in the world because he was going to be the one that was going to have to do that. You know, Antonio Brown, Hall of Famer. Rob Gronkowski, Hall of Famer. Mike Evans, when it's all said and done,
could be.
Will most likely be a Hall of Famer. If you go look at Mike Evans' numbers, he is the only receiver in history to have 7 straight 1,000-yard seasons to start his career. That is insanity. So this dude is basically on a 10,000-yard clip within the next year or two.
Yeah.
The magic number, for receivers, you start creeping around 13,000 career receiving yards, you're going to get the nod. So,
yeah, easily too.
So that's what you're talking about. Kevin Durant. Come on, man. Like, there's no words to describe like this dude. There isn't. There will probably never be another one like we've seen some duplicate. We've seen some maybe.
Yeah.
Porzingis is still young, maybe, but he can't handle it like KD.
No.
He just can't. KD will rock your ass to sleep. He plays defense quiet as kept. He's one of the best defenders.
Shut down defense, dude. Like that's not a secret. It's shut down defense.
And this is what I love about KD's got an old school mentality because he doesn't mind getting dunked on. Like he'll defend the rim. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what's lost in this era. You don't have the superstar guy. How many times Charles Barkley got dunked on in his career?
Yeah. Patrick Ewing, Karl Malone. Yeah.
Guys got dunked on. And that's why they're Hall of Famers. You know what I mean? They're like, hey, you got me. I'm going to go back and get his ass,
Exactly.
So you got that, and you had to go, well, you've got 2 MVPs on the same team, which is not since Magic and Kareem, where you've had 2 MVPs on the same team. Now, I don't know if that's been said by other shows because I really haven't watched much. Maybe Shannon Sharp would be the one guy that would ever throw that out. But the last time 2 MVPs played together was Magic and Kareem. And before that, it was Oscar and Kareem. And before that, or in between that, maybe Jerry West and Wilt.
LG. Yep.
So, so it doesn't happen often. So you look at it and you go, well, Kyrie automatically becomes third wheel in this because both these guys have been MVP. Like, it's not that because Kyrie is sensational.
Right.
But by the fact of one guy has basically been the MVP or the runner-up for the last 5 years. One guy won it, and he's a 2-time finals MVP. Kyrie becomes the third guy. So how does it work? This is why I'm saying why they are as good as they are.
Right.
It works because one of them was going to have to figure out what to do differently. And it's been James Harden. And I give James Harden all the credit in the world for this. He tried to do it himself. and he realized that he couldn't. He
And
tried.
I can appreciate that as a man. I can appreciate that.
And for him to say, I like the way
I
that
need
he's
help.
going in Houston, like you guys, I ate up the money. Like I did that. I ate it up. I did that. I know you guys don't want to necessarily play, because Houston's not a big market team.
No.
So when you do that, like with Russ, like with Giannis, with some of these teams, like it's tough because the key to it is what Golden State did all those years. They paid the luxury tax because it was worth it. They would have paid the luxury tax again if KD would have resigned. They were going to find a way to keep Steph, Clay, KD, and Draymond together because winning solves all that. That's what paid for that new dope-ass stadium that nobody's really gotten to sit in that they got out here in the Bay. And that's what Brooklyn did. Brooklyn said, you know what? These guys are, I think KD's the oldest.
Yeah, he is.
KD's 30. James Harden's 29 years old. Kyrie Irving's 27 years old. Like, let's understand what's going on here. This is worse than what Golden State did.
Yep.
In the sense of this. They did it the right way. See, people have to understand. First and foremost is the gift and the curse what LeBron James did when he went to Miami and the way that team was. They did it the right way. LeBron James was a free agent. And he cried out for help the way that he did. And I respect it because that is this era. This era is that. Okay? We're from different eras, and I understand that. LeBron was man enough to go, Cleveland can't do it for me. Like, who's going to do it? And Pat Riley said, well, I've got some experience with it.
I can help you out.
Yeah, I've done this a couple different places, won some titles. Now, can I get you guys to all not worry about money for 4 years? And we can do this. Who wants to make the extra money in it? I think Chris Bosh got the extra to it when they did the contracts.
He got an extra 10 or something like that, I believe it was.
Yeah. It was like they all were making 19, and like Chris might have been 20. Like I remember it. It's like they rock, paper, scissors for who's going to make more money.
Yeah, honestly, I don't doubt it.
Out of the contract. So they did it. It worked. You can't front Golden State all that much. And I don't blame KD because KD looked at his situation, much like LeBron, and he did what LeBron said. I don't feel like we can do that in this place. And let's not forget, they didn't want to give James the 5th year. The only reason OKC broke up was because James Harden wanted his deal a certain way and OKC wouldn't do it. So James went and took the same deal with a different year expected or different player option in Houston. They were paying him the exact same amount of money. And James parlayed that into making $40 million a year.
Yep.
So when KD said, I ain't going to do it, Golden State said, oh, look at our contracts. We can do this. Because they drafted their three-headed monster.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when you draft it, and then you sign a big free agent, what's wrong with that? There's nothing.
Homegrown.
The Los Angeles Lakers. LeBron said, I want him, do it, or I'll leave. They mortgaged their entire youth movement for one guy. And that one guy is paid off in a championship. So it worked.
Now to speak to the other side of that, all the young kids that were traded away, don't get it like they're lost in Wonderland somewhere. They're all averaging 19 or better. Because I saw that stat the other day, which is crazy. Like all those guys are averaging like 19 points or better. Julius Randle is now an all-star.
Yep.
Like, so don't get me wrong. AD was worth it. You got a title out of it. That makes it worth it. But don't think like you got to realize how heavy that deal was because all four of these young guys who are not even 25 years old yet are averaging like 20 points or more a game. Like it's like 19-6 or something like that.
On winning teams.
On winning like playoff, soon to be playoff teams. So like it's a heavy deal. A heavy deal.
So they are that good. And that's what kills you because when you've got three guys, and it's something I've never seen. We've seen it kind of different ways, like the Miami Big Three. Yeah, those three guys could get their own shot. The Boston Big Three, those guys could get their own shot in a certain way. You know, everybody forgets how good Ray Allen was. Like, Ray Allen was like the lost two guard of the Allen Iverson, Dwayne Wade generation. Like Ray Allen, that's a reason why he's Jesus Shuttlesworth. There's a reason why they picked him. That dude buckets, not just running around hitting game-winning threes.
No, all game long.
That dude crossed the shit out you, dunk on him. That dude's 6'6". People act like Ray Allen was like 6 foot.
No, he had bunnies.
Ray
like
Allen
it's
6'6". Go look at the highlights. Back when Ray Allen was like, dude, I had waves and I just cut them off because I just needed more time to work on my jump shot.
like Ray Allen will put you on a like Seattle Ray Allen will quickly put you on a poster before he shot on you. Like you're gonna fall for that little hesitation, and then he gonna dunk on your center. Like it is what it is.
If Ray Allen played in this era, Ray Allen would have been MVP.
Easily.
Been said.
Easily.
All right. But different. The Golden State team. That's the only comparable thing that I've seen to this because you had Steph and Kevin that could really kind of wheel and deal and get buckets. Like Clay can deal a little bit, but it's not really his strength. Like
catch and shoot.
And obviously Dre is Dre. Dre does all the dirty work. And he's, anytime Dre gives you more than 15, it's because his three is on, you know what I'm saying? So it's like different. And they kind of did it different ways. Sean Livingston off the bench. Iggy, you know what I'm saying, being the great Swiss Army knife he is. Illinois stand up. Like it always comes back. I'm sorry, Chris. Now, I'll move on. But this iteration of what we're seeing here, it's basically amazing to see that. I think these are three guys that said, let's keep LeBron at 4. And we'll get KD to 4. And then when this is all over, we'll go try to catch KD. That's how I see this happening.
I don't disagree with you at all. To piggyback off what you were saying earlier, like who's going to have to like change their game. I get it. Harden did because now Harden is like leading the NBA in assists. Like who has to be that third man out? Somehow they figured out a way that there's nobody that's the third man out. Tweak your game a little bit so it kind of it compensates everything else and it complements everybody else's game. But like there's no 1A, 1B. It's like, okay, you get tonight. I'll take Tuesday. Then you'll get the Thursday game, and then Saturday we'll combine for about 92 points. So like they figured out a way to make it work, which myself included, I didn't think it was because and mind you, it's still early. I get that, but I just thought like, hey, there's no way in hell Harden's going to take a back seat and do anything else, and he didn't take a back seat. He tweaked his game like all right, well. I saw me being in Houston taking 35, 40 shots a game and averaging 35, 36 points. That's good for me, but that doesn't help everybody else. So let me lead and assist then. Let me guarantee myself a double-double, almost a triple-double every night. Because you got to think, you got Harden coming down the court. Kyrie on the wing. You got Durant on the wing. You got you got average white dad just roaming around the perimeter. But then say you come down, you hit him with the heads, either 1-2, you come to the lane, their big man steps up. Now all you got to do is lob it to quietly as kept one of the best dunkers over the last 10 years in DeAndre Jordan. I'll tweak my game. I'll lead an assist if all I got to do is either pass it to my left or my right or just lob it. That's it.
And I just read something today. That's why I'm glad we're talking about this, America. We just before we got on, he was like, I want to talk about the Nets. They're working out Trevor Ariza right now. Let's just add another like wing that can just get it done.
Exactly.
That's played with James. You know what I'm saying? That's won champions. Like Trevor, played with Coves. Like this dude has been around the league. He's been in playoffs. And I want to talk about James Harden a little bit more in the sense of just kind of on him tweaking his game. You know what the tweak is? Because he has led the league in assists before. That's not new. Because James Harden's usage was out of control. And Russell, like the same that Russ was. You got guys that led the league in assists because they've had the ball. You should lead the league in assists if you've got the ball in your hands.
Yeah, every time.
5% of the time. You should average double-digit assists. The tweak for James is, I think it's an easy one. I think for him, it's, God, and James is not a guy that misses games either. Like, quiet as kept, he plays every game. So he's a very durable guy.
He gives you your money's worth.
You get to game 95, game 96, and you've been having to do these things to win. I think James Harden looks at it as like, I got no problem dropping back to averaging 20 compared to my 30-something. And I think it's the mindset of, any young player. And I think basketball and football are similar in this. Every young player, when you come in, I want to win a championship. There's not a player that plays the game. They're like, I just want to get my numbers and do this. No. Everybody has the mentality of, I want to get my numbers and win a championship. Because there's not a person that gets into it, once you get out of high school, once you're beyond that, the level is, people will say, I didn't think about the Hall of Fame. But they're thinking about money. They're thinking about being revered. You know what I'm saying? And then they're thinking about being a champion. And it's in that order. You know what I'm saying? Chris can tell you that. He went through that. Lord knows once I got to Bloomington, I was just happy to be there. And then once I realized, I'm a star, then I wanted to be a star. I always wanted to win. But I sure as hell wanted to see my name first in every receiving category to go along with those wins. Because it was always that, especially that 08 year for me. And that's what I think was happening with James. James was getting mad about losing MVPs, and he's getting bounced in the second round of playoffs. See, like that can't mesh. Like, it doesn't mesh.
Let me give you your kudos real quick, and then I'll let you get back to James. Dude, I think like that was perfect, especially with me, because like once I left like Jacksonville High School or whatever, and I got to college, as soon as I stepped on campus, it was like, all right, I don't really give a damn about an ACC championship or SEC championship. I just need somebody to know my name. That's it. Like, I don't mind being a stud on a bad team. I don't mind being like the first name you think of in a positive way, like once this is all rolling. And then how can I get my hands on some more money? Like that kicks in for 90% of the guys their freshman year. Is like, how can I make myself better so that I can get more notoriety and figure out how to turn this notoriety into cash? Gotta monetize it.
Dude, I love the way you said that. I'll let you get back to it because that's why I ran track my freshman year. Because you get, it's a fishbowl. Once you become the shark in your tank,
yep,
you got to go start over in them 4 years. and nobody knows who you are unless you're like, you know, the Tuas of the world or the Trevor Lawrences of the world, unless you're that guy. And you got so used to people chanting your name. They used to chant Williams J at my high school. Not because I told them to, because I was dope.
And I do dope shit.
It took a while. Chris Turner was one of the top 100 players in the country. He worked hard to get to that point where they chant
Exactly.
CT13. Like, we worked hard for that shit. So when you get to that freshman year and nobody's chanting nothing, and you got, and I mean, it was a nice smack. I need that smack in the face. Like, nigga, you're not as good as you thought you were. Like, this, it ain't sweet out here. And they were right, I wasn't. So I said, you know what? I know I can go out here and be all conference in this long jump. Let me go try that. And then messed around and broke a 30-year-old school record in my first season. Oh, I'm an All-American now. You know who I am. What? Runner-up? Runner-up to the Barbados national champion?
I get it.
I think I know I'm good. And Chris is right. Now they knew my name because things changed. It changed. Actually, after the conference track meet, things changed really quick. That's all I'm going to say. So, with that being said, and how to parlay this to really what we're talking about with the Nets, that's James. Like, James, when he left OKC, James was the third guy. And he became the guy. Like, people are doing James Harden. James Harden has changed the NBA. Like, he's made traveling fashionable.
Yep.
Good for James. I listened to Gilbert Arenas talk about it when he was, they were talking about it. I love Gilbert Arenas' show too. Gilbert is hilarious. One of my favorite. Gilbert Arenas is one of my favorite guys, man. I wish that gun shit would have never happened.
Yeah.
Gilbert Arenas, it would have been fun to see him leaving this era as these guys are coming in. But with James, man, I think he just realized, why am I chasing MVPs? Like, this is a much easier way to get to this money if I can have a title or two. That's why Kevin Durant is saying everything he wants to say all the time. He's got championships. You can't take him away. Y'all can talk about, well, the team was loaded. They asked him to come there. It wasn't the other way around. He didn't go, I want to go to Golden State.
No.
He was a free agent. Draymond is 100% right with what he said. And we may talk about that maybe in another show. And how he's talked about how players, especially in the NBA, they make them look, they do. They do players really wrong in that sense. And I agree with some of it, but you guys make millions of dollars. But guess what? There's a reason why they make that much money. We are the reason they make that money.
Exactly.
So you can't sit here, it's a walking oxymoron with a lot of this stuff. But it's been fun to watch. And I'm going to be honest with you. The Michael Jordan head in me is I'd like to see some distance, because we're coming to this point where LeBron is going to own every statistical record.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to start putting different things in people's heads. You got to understand this when they talk about great players, okay? And what I need to make it be clear, and why you, even at the time, by Wilt Chamberlain, who is by all means the most dominant statistical player in the history of the sport of basketball.
Ever.
There was nothing that was ever like Wilt Chamberlain in his time. Ever. In any sport. When you talk about unbreakable record, nobody will average 50 points and 25 rebounds
ever again.
Season. Okay. And Wilt Chamberlain is not even regarded as the greatest center of all time. So this is my point. There is an all-encompassing thing to this when you want to talk about these GOAT things. And when you're talking about LeBron James, who's going to own every record, points, minutes, made field goals, probably made free throws. He's going to be top 10 to top 5 to top 10 in three-pointers made. He's going to be, top something in assist. This guy is going to statistically look amazing.
Yeah.
Never be the greatest player. Greatest talent? Perhaps. Greatest player? If Wilt Chamberlain's not even considered greatest player, and this guy's averages can never be touched. Matter of fact, Wilt Chamberlain doesn't even own the career scoring average for a career. Michael Jordan owns that.
Yeah.
So that's all I'm saying on that. And for me, I think anything that, and this is not from a LeBron hater because I love LeBron, but LeBron beats this team. Yeah, we'll have to revisit the conversation.
There's a conversation that needs to be had if he goes this route. Which brings me to this, because that's where I kind of think I didn't realize you can go on that point of it. And I'll be brief because I know we want to wrap this up before it gets too long. But
yeah, and then I want to bring something to you that I saw Kyrie say that I thought was actually pretty dope.
Oh, that's all right. Anyway, so to swing back to LeBron, because everything when you bring up basketball, it comes back to LeBron one way or another.
Yeah, he's right.
Yeah, very much so. I'll give him credit for that.
He's the microwave generation goat.
Does he need AD to get another one?
Yeah.
I figured
it has to be done. It has to be done that way because from this point on, if he goes somewhere else, how does it look? See, the perception is LeBron said, bring him to me, I'll put a title on.
Right.
So as long as it's in this lens, that it's in LA, it's LeBron. If LeBron goes anywhere else, it's now he had to go, get some younger guns. So it has to be in this image. That's why that championship is so big. Because the two he had in Miami don't compare to the one he had in Cleveland, the one he got in LA.
No,
Those
I
two
agree.
are always going to be better champions. They are. Now, if Miami would have won 4 out of 4, then yes.
That's different.
They're all equal. So it's always that, and that's the magnitude of being the greatest. That's how it is. Listen, I always have to do context. No, I was not that ever. But I know what it is to be the best player in the league and lose a title. When you put that type of pressure on yourself and you want that type of attention. And that happened. So I know what LeBron goes through. Not to the magnification and the scale of a gazillion Instagram and Twitter followers and $1 billion athlete. No, I don't know that. Come on, man. You think I would have to abstain from drinking Screwball if I was that type of guy? I'd be doing in my cryogenic chamber, $2 million worth of this body would look amazing. It just looks slightly above average right now with my 300 push-ups I've done this week. But that's what it comes down to with LeBron, man. Like, he's at the point in his career where he will, when it's all said and done, statistically be something we've never seen before and may never see again. Just like Wilt Chamberlain was, just like Michael Jordan was. But if he doesn't get it done in LA, if he can't beat this team with what he has, listen, this is his creation. LeBron created these teams.
Exactly.
You have to be able to overcome your own creations. So that's what it is. I want to pivot to this. Kyrie Irving said something very profound. And I think he might be onto something because of who's involved and what I've heard him say in the past. What are your thoughts on Kobe Bryant becoming the logo for the NBA?
Jordan.
Well, here's why. Michael Jordan said absolutely not. Michael Jordan has already said absolutely not.
I know he has. And if it's a situation where it's like, okay, Jordan said no and gave his blessing, essentially, I'm okay with Kobe. Now, I agree. The Jerry West logo is iconic. It is. Don't get me wrong. I love Jerry West to death, and I've never seen Jerry West take a shot. I know Jerry West as the general manager and the great work he's done in that aspect. But I've never seen him take a shot.
You should go watch his highlights. I've actually seen highlights of him. Like,
well, no, I'm saying like as from
Jerry
live.
West, Jerry West got buckets, bro.
No, I'm saying as a I've seen him on like YouTube and I've seen like the highlights from like as far as like ESPN goes. But to sit down and watch a whole game and like being around, being alive when Jerry West was doing his thing, I can't say that I was doing that because as a kid, a young kid anyway, I was like most kids. I was a Bulls fan. Like because like Mike was the most exciting, entertaining thing he was must-see TV. Like he was a primetime game. But if Jordan doesn't want it, the only acceptable person that can replace that Jumpman logo, it's Kobe Bean Bryant. Like, so I agree. Like, and with the league being 88 point whatever percent black, why not? Like, representation is key. So yeah, I'll be short and short, but yeah, I'm okay. If Jordan doesn't want it and he gave his blessing, then why not?
And yeah, I just wanted to get your take on it because obviously I'm going to mirror that and just let it be known. They've asked Michael numerous times. Jerry West has asked Michael. That's the insider that I've read about. Jerry West has felt like Michael Jordan should have been the logo back in the 90s. He was like, my time is come and gone, Mike. You know what I'm saying? Like, people don't remember the Jerry West 1-2 bounce. Jerry West, they used to talk about Jerry West, you know, because Jerry West is obviously way before the three-point line. But they talked about how unstoppable Jerry West is 1-2 when he went into that hard dribble off the right hand and went up for that jumper, dude. His release was so quick. And this dude was bottoms, bro. All 6'4" of them. And
I get it.
He would stroke it. So I love that Kyrie brought this up because I think the traction that it would get, and it would be landmark for a league to do this. And I think it's because Kobe's what he's becoming. I mean, to me, like it's hard to even talk about Kobe's without starting to tear up a little bit. And I'm not saying that I was the biggest Kobe Bryant fan at all, but I had such an admiration for how much of an asshole this guy was on the court. Like he wanted to win. And, you know, Kobe's is drafted in 96. I graduated high school in 01. So Kobe's is 5 years older than me.
So, like, yeah, you would have been in the 8th grade when he was a senior.
Exactly. So Kobe's to me, like, means a lot because that's the mentality we grew up with. Like, we grew up with win at all costs.
Exactly.
And, you know, to me, he's really kind of really still could be a great bridge because of so many of these young guys that are all-stars. And, you know, I always tell people, you know, on this show, I'm going to keep telling them, hey, especially the men on this show that need to learn how to cry and let some shit out. Go watch some Kobe Bryant tributes. Watch these young 20, 22-year-old multi-millionaires.
Yeah.
And how they felt that day and what he means. And then come tell me again why Kobe Bryant shouldn't be the logo. Because to me, this is this generation. He is their Michael Jordan.
He is.
And it's not LeBron James. It's Kobe's. And I think for Kobe's to be that and what he means, I love that Kyrie brought it up. And I look forward to when that happens because I could see that happening very quickly.
I agree.
And I just wanted to see what you thought about that before we wrap up. So, dude, I mean, let's call it what it is. I'm going to go ahead and say the same thing I said last year before Denver took care of all that and had to apologize for the rest of the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go ahead and say this right now. If those three are healthy, and here's the messed up part. They went out there and beat up on both the LA teams without KD. I mean, beat them down.
They beat the whole division.
And that's a good ass division because you're talking about Dame out there too.
Exactly.
And you're talking about Golden State, who's actually playing some pretty decent basketball. Shout out
Yep.
to Curry, Draymond, and them guys, what they're doing without Clay. So, and then quiet as kept. Phoenix may or may not be in the division. Oh, Phoenix is really good. So, yeah.
Yep.
I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I got the Nets versus the Clippers. So that's my pick. There's not really much to that. It's just me saying that I just don't think Kawhi and Paul are gonna not miss another opportunity.
Dude, I got Nets, Lakers, and I got it in 5.
I don't think you could beat them 3 guys.
Not healthy, dude. That's a lot.
That's way too much. Here's the thing about it. Quiet as kept. Look at all that finals experience.
Yeah.
Like I get LeBron's been in 10 and AD's got a taste. That whole team just won. But KD's been in 4.
That's a lot, dude. That's a lot. That's a lot of metal to go through.
And Kyrie's been in 3.
3.
And they've both won. So they know what it is. And then James is looking at it like, oh, I got these dudes.
Think about this. Think about this way before we go into give me a minute. You got KD and Kyrie essentially driving the playoff bus. Then you get a fresh, hungry-ass Harden in the finals.
Oh, wait a minute. I forgot. James Harden has played in the finals.
Oh, so you get a hungry Harden who hasn't seen the finals since OKC.
Yeah.
You get a hungry, fresh Harden. That's terrifying.
And, we're talking about, once again, the finals in Corona times.
So it's bubble, no outside anything.
They might put them in a bubble, or it might be like you can only have 25% capacity in your stadiums. Like, it's still not going to be the same. Like,
No.
We're not going to get a real Super Bowl, well, actually, they did a decent job. It was noisy.
Yeah, it was.
You could
There was some computer noise in there as well as with the first line workers.
You
But
could hear them little 20,000 in it. It was screaming their hearts out for Tampa Bay whooping that ass. So yeah, to me, you talking about basically it's neutral floor with little to. And the last 2 times KD's seen LeBron in the finals, he has dropped LeBron off in the same spot.
quickly.
So what you going? I mean, come on, man. They got Joe Harris. Joe Harris is not. I'll tell you right now. Joe Harris is not missing any opportunity to hit a Steve Kerr, John Paxson, Ray Allen, Mike Miller,
Mark
type
Price.
shot. It's like I've been shooting 50% all year for this opportunity. This dude is shooting 50% for the 3-point line.
It's
50%.
easy to shoot 50% when you have nobody around you.
I want this stat right now before we go to give me a minute. Joe Harris, like I saw his stat line and I was like, dude, look. He's got the best stat line in all of sports to me right now. Joe Harris averaging 15 points a game. All right, on 30 minutes. He is shooting legitimately 51% from 3. He's shooting 54% from the field. But check this out. He's shooting 69% for the free throw line. Who is this guy? That makes no sense.
Statistically, all that says is if he misses one, he's going to make the next. But that's what that says.
Hey, and then check this out. Have you ever seen a team where your top three guys are all shooting 85% or better from the free throw line?
That's crazy.
They got three dudes averaging 25 points a game.
So that means you can't foul them either then.
I got three dudes averaging 25 points a game. Like, really?
I don't know.
Come on. Come on now. And James Harden averaging 11 assists. Come on, dude. This is so dumb.
That's why I'm saying like that's a lot of metal to go through.
This is so dumb. I don't know why we're like, okay, like, come on. Like, dude, I just want to see who's even. I mean, Russell's an assist and a half behind him. So they've got that. Come. Oh, God. Golly. Okay, I'm done. I'm not even paying attention to the show.
You're good. You're good. Let me go into it. America. America. Give me a minute. I'm struggling to get this one out because this one hurts. I am not a person who minces words. I'm a type of person who I said what I said and what. I have to apologize to embrace yourself, mainly you, Walt. And once I say this next person, you'll know what I'm about to apologize for. And to Callie's brother, I believe it is, or brother-in-law.
Yeah.
I would like to offer an apology to the University of Notre Dame. So it's been documented, and now it's happening. NCAA college football is coming back.
Big.
Super excited. That's a big move. That's a big deal. The University of Notre Dame said, yeah, they may be coming back, but we're not coming back with it. Instantly, I had like all my guns out, like, okay, I'm about to roast Notre Dame next time I get a chance. And then they said why. Because they don't want to come back unless their guys get paid for it evenly. And every last guy on the team that's on that game needs to be compensated. So until that happens, you can't use their likeness, their classic teams, their anything. Like you can't even reference Notre Dame on that game without some kind of legal nonsense coming. So, Notre Dame, I apologize because the moral character, the fiber, the cojones it takes to tell somebody that's about to give you millions of dollars and you don't have to do anything. Essentially, all right, man, unless you're gonna take care of my people, I'm not dealing with you. So Notre Dame, as a man, I would like to say, I'm sorry. And America, that's all I got. America, that's been my minute.
I had no idea where he was going to go with that. But as soon as he said that, I knew where he was going. I mean, and you know what's so crazy about that? The deal is being done because, like, it's already in the works. Like, they're trying to figure out this endorsement stuff. Because can you really have that game?
No.
You know how many people that will not buy that game unless Notre Dame is playable on there? Like, if they can't get recruited by Notre Dame and they're my player, like, what's the point? Like, they're like, what's the point? Like, I want to do my dynasty player with Notre Dame. So that's big. So America, this is going to be a little bit different. Normally, I'm finishing up the last little bit, you know. Screwball whiskey. Shameless plug.
Shameless.
But I'm going to go ahead and take a sip of water. Take a deep breath. America, give me a minute. Chris, it's not very often that I think guys from our era that we grew up get the amount of love they should still get. I was sitting in my truck. Obviously didn't have a lot to do that morning. And I might have been Artavius Williams. I might have to give Tay some credit on this. And he had put up a picture of Peter Warrick and Percy Harvin. And it's done like he's been doing it. Coach O's well has been doing it with a lot of players. It's been great. Who you got, Peter Warrick or Percy Harvin? And this is no disrespect to Percy Harvin, who I thought was phenomenal.
Yeah.
One of my favorite players to ever put on the blue and orange up in Gainesville. I'm going to say this as well as I can. Outside of Randy Moss in the last 25 years of college football, this is no disrespect even to the Heisman Trophy winner from this year, Peter Warrick is the best college football wide receiver in the last 25 years, outside of Randy Moss. Period. I watched his highlight tape for 30 minutes and saw what this dude did. And obviously, I have somewhat of a personal relationship with Dub because one of my greatest joys that I ever had, and I want to thank Glenn Johnson for this, Darren Graham for this, was when I came back, Chris, we were on a bye week, and I went back to Bloomington because I had time. And half of it was I wanted to walk in the stadium that, I helped put on the map with we were 8-1 at that point. We had just beaten Sioux Falls and we were the shit. And I had like 21 touchdowns in 8 games. Dude, I was really like on some, ain't nobody going to recognize it's me in here. First and foremost, I'm just a guy in the crowd. But I never forget, I kind of walked down because then I knew a lot of those guys and I love those guys. And they all came up and dapped me. And they said, dude, after the game, we're going to put on a show for you, which they did. Dusty had just come back and they played a hell of a game. And they said, dude, come to the locker room no matter what. Just come back because we just want to, dude, let's talk to you. And we've been watching you and we're proud of you, because I was their young guy that had become, thanks to you guys and teammates, had become this commodity. And I got to sit next to Peter Warrick and drink Hennessy with Peter Warrick. I've said this on this program, but I want to say this in my Give Me a Minute and how much Peter Warrick, this is how good Peter Warrick was. Okay, I wore 84 my junior year of high school. My senior year of high school, you know what number I wore?
What number?
9.
As well you should.
Peter Warrick is the reason I had 2 earrings in my ear. Peter Warrick was Reggie Bush before Reggie Bush even knew he was there. You know who Reggie Bush stole that dead leg from? Peter Warrick is the first guy to do the dead leg. Nobody else was doing that dead leg before Peter Warrick. This is this dude. Peter Warrick would have won the Heisman had it not been for that cop in Tallahassee worried about what they were doing to Dillon's. Okay? This wasn't crab legs, all right? This was like, hey, you know what? You got $400, got you 14. And on top of that, Lavernius Coles got shitted on, and I didn't appreciate that either because Lavernius Coles, hell of a football player.
Duval County, baby.
Okay? And they dogged him. And that's the only reason why Pete didn't win the Heisman at.
The only reason.
That's it. He missed those games. Peter Warrick, and I challenge all of the Americans, go type Peter Warrick highlight tape in YouTube. Watch the one that's 29 and a half minutes long. And didn't realize that that film you're watching is from 1995 to 1999. And they played in the Sugar Bowl championship game and beat Michael Vick's team, beat the brakes off of Michael Vick's team.
Yep.
So understand that. Michael Vick played on the same field, and nobody was in the conversation of who the best player was on that field. And it was Peter Warrick, hands down. That's saying something because Michael Vick was phenomenal back then. Peter Warrick, in the last 25 years of college football, 1995 to now, in these 2021, last 26, Peter Warrick is the best wide receiver not named Randy Moss to play college football. And you know what? I'm willing to hear any conversation you have. This is a guy that drank Hennessy with Peter Warrick and told Doug and said, dude, you have no idea what this means to me. Like, dude, I looked up to you. And this is a fact. And Doug would probably be like, nah, I ain't say that shit to him. But he did say it. He said, I'm looking up at you. I see them 21 touchdowns in Billings. I said, I made it. Chris, didn't matter to me. Not only that, I already knew we were going to championship here, but I was like, dude, Peter Warrick just gave me love. Like, are you shitting me? Dub respects my game? I don't need nothing else. That was a number 4 overall draft pick. Telling me that I'm the shit. Y'all couldn't tell me nothing. Nobody could tell me nothing. I had made it. My hero thought I had game. Peter Warrick, this is to you. I'm going to make sure Chris hears that story again at the wedding because I know Glenn Johnson's showing up. I know Glenn going to be there. And Glenn got my back. And Glenn's Fort Lauderdale all day. So I know y'all going to be talking all sorts of crazy Florida
that's happening.
That I don't even know half them dudes. But I want to shout out Peter Warrick and let our fans know. Do your history. It's always important to know. That dead leg, I promise
serious,
was invented by Peter Warrick. So, as always, I got to give shouts out to the state of Florida. Because at the end of the day, there's something in that water in Florida. In America, that's been my long ass. Give me a minute. Long live Peter Warrick.
So with all that being said, it's been another fantastic episode of Give Me a Minute. It's another fantastic episode of What's Good America with fantastic Give Me a Minute to end the whole show. As always, we want to shout out Screwball, Jameson, Diet Coke, Body Armor, Jack Daniels, Truly,
Hermana, Bombay,
Zephyr Hills Water,
100 años.
100 años.
Hey,
it don't matter.
Shout out, they don't even know it yet, but I'm Root Out Whiskey. I'm telling you right now, you get a shout out tonight, Root Out.
Shout out Root Out Whiskey, a Canadian whiskey based out of New Jersey. So shout out to them as well. With all that being said,
the home of Kyrie, baby. Oh, wait, before we go off, Chris.
Yeah.
Tell them about our other platform that we're going to try to give a shot here. America. Be looking for it. We don't know if it's going to be the next episode we do. We're going to figure it out. But there's going to be an opportunity for us to use stereo where we're going to make sure you guys have that link because you guys will actually be able to comment and listen to us live as we're doing it. We're also going to have the videos because, shout out YouTube and all that. But we're going to need all of our Americans there because if you guys start listening to us on that platform, the more of you guys do that for us, we're going to have to probably get Twitter now. So, sorry, Chris, you're going to be tasked with making our Twitter page.
Okay.
But if we get up to 10,000 people, that means we're verified. So we know we've got the love of all those Americans up there that are supporting two guys that are Montana podcast. They ain't even from Montana. But, we're going to spread the word. I know all of my dogs out there that are listening. Chris has got all his guys down there. All the Sigmas that, we know, like we've got a lot of people that are loving us, and we thank you guys so much. we found a way to make sure that we really doing this, man. So look for that stereo. We're going to make sure we're putting that out on all of our social media platforms when it's time for that. We want to have you guys on there and drop as many comments as possible. Like, we'll figure it out as we go, but I wanted to get that out too. This was a little bit more long-winded, but look for that stereo link to come so we can try to get verified. We get that check mark.
It's a wrap.
Maybe somebody will verify us, you know what I'm saying, and be like, okay, y'all really trying to do the damn thing. So, all right, I got it out.
So with all that being said, make sure that you follow us on Instagram, What's Good America. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube page, What's Good America, the Facebook page, What's Good America. On IG, that is Williams F. Baby. And I guess we are still What's Good America on IG. We are What's Good America on YouTube. We are What's Good America on Facebook. I'm Cristobal Turner on Facebook. Don't bother me, though, because I honestly don't prefer to be on it. But anyway, the same question that we asked you tonight, it's the same question we ask you every day. Mr. Wayne J., can you let them know what that is?
What's good, America?
What's good?